Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, guys, this is the time. The time has come for us to actually experience something completely unique. And I'm talking about, of course, the tournament mode being absolutely a reality in the game, in the end game for DLC 5. We need this, guys. Bandai Namco, you have to listen to this, guys. Please make sure to share this video on social media so Bandai Namco listens to us and implements this crazy amazing mode, which is basically an actual endgame tournament mode where you can play it as many times as you want. Now, going on to the actual game here, you can see that just in front of us there is the actual Budokai Tenkaichi tournament, and even Goku, when he walks around this area, he actually says himself that, oh, I would like to fight a very strong opponent in the next tournament, right? So it's just kind of a hint there that, you know, this was actually coming in the past. But what is even more important is that they made this crazy amazing scenario. I mean, look at the detail of this area, like you approaching the Budokai Tenkaichi arena, you can see it from the distance, the palm trees, it just, everything is just so cool in terms of the presentation, right? So why are they not giving us the opportunity to actually fight in the Budokai Tenkaichi arena? We must have this happening, guys. I mean, just imagine for a second, what they have to do is very simple. They just have to give us a character selector, which is already part of your character. If you go to your party, you can already choose some of them, right? Because you can already select some of them. So we know that Tien will be a playable character in release, which is really cool, of the DLC 5, so he's going to be playable. Now, of course, we don't know anything about Krillin yet or about Yamcha. Maybe they're going to be playable, I don't know, I have no idea. But it just doesn't make any sense because support only. I mean, they have their own skills, their own abilities, so they're actually playable if you just use a mod. If you have a mod installed on the PC version, you can just go there and just play with them already straight away, which is just one of the things which annoys me the most. Here, the tournament staff says the following: know that the world is safe again, plans for the next tournament are well underway. I hope we can hold the next one soon, but even if we can't, we eventually will. So this is just kind of a hint that, you know, that Budokai Tenkaichi tournament, we talked about this like over a year ago, that the DLC for a tournament was already planned and scheduled, right? Now, in terms of the actual way to do this tournament, oh, I'm just got clipped there in a second, it'll be really cool because they can even like do it like offline and of course online as well. I mean, there's so many ways, because in the offline mode, for example, once you have ground combat, guys, having an actual online mode for this game in PvP would be actually very simple to implement. I mean, just think for a second, you have limited abilities, so not all of the abilities could be used in the DLC, and at the same time, by having a limited arena to fight from, you cannot really spam as much as you would want because there's ground limits, and I'm pretty sure in the tournament itself you cannot like get out of the arena, because if you could, then the combat would be very short, especially in the story mode. That just falling off the arena all the time is going to be quite a bothersome thing, right? So I'm pretty sure that the character will basically themselves avoid to fall over the edge by either like jumping, like doing some sort of move or something to just avoid falling over the edge, right? So this area, as you can see here, is already pretty big. I mean, this is already pretty big, as you can see here, like fighting here. Well, let me just stop here for a second. So actually just fighting here, like by just running, for example, right? There's plenty of space to engage with your opponent. You don't need much bigger space, because the bigger the space it is, that's only more for like flying in the areas and like doing like super big, special, massive attacks. But this could be solved very easily. They just literally would have to just I would obviously like forbid, as you know, like just in any tournament, they just forbid certain techniques, certain abilities which are like super massive AoE damage, and that's it. You would just focus on the basics, the combat, the skill, and of course some of the kind of key skills which are not like super overbearing, and they just have one trajectory, and that's it. So just having a tournament mode in endgame multiplayer tournament mode is so easy, guys. I just cannot stress this enough. I mean, they made the car mode possible, and the car mode was even more difficult to make because you have to build cars from the beginning, you have to like make the card board, you have all this already in place. All you have to do is just enable online features in the game, allow other characters to join on the server. Just you can be the host, for example, if you're hosting the tournament, and I'm pretty sure people will love it. People just love this because it just screams for it to be used as an end game arena for gameplay, guys. And I just hope that Bandai Namco sees this and understands this. I mean, it just like come on, man, come on, like do it, because it's just so right there, so up their alley. But anyway guys, that's it for today's video on the tournament mode. I just wanted to showcase to you guys that definitely like this is enough. Like you don't need more than this. And the best thing is that when the arena is filled with people, you really get that feeling of the Kakarot per se, because in other games, like for example in Xenoverse or in the other Budokai games, like you never had that feeling of that you're actually there physically, because the graphics were also obviously weaker and there was an actual city you could explore. But by having this actual city, and just imagine for a second here, I mean this is just, you know, an idea I have, but they could even make it possible so that you actually watch other people fight in the tournament. So let's say you enter a tournament, and then let's say obviously the tournament has about 8 fights or 6 fights or whatever, and then when you finish your fight you get to watch the other people doing the fight while you watch the tournament. That would just be awesome, like an online mode where you just literally choose one of the characters. Again, they're restricted in some of their abilities, but then you can actually watch them play on the field, and you know, from your seat from here for example, like one of the seats, and then you actually watch them fight and you learn their skills and you study your opponent. It would just be like the most ultimate simulation of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot tournament mode. Now guys, again, it's very possible, and the investment cost making this happen by Bandai Namco again is really small, because they spent actually more money making the car mode than making this mode. I mean, even if it's like paid, man, even this mode, online mode, will be paid, will come as a subsequent update, which will be like an online tournament mode for Kakarot. Man, everyone would pay for it. Like just charge like, I don't know, $5 or something, or $10, and allow people to play online and use like different characters, like from the Z Saga, from the Dragon Ball Original Saga, from like the DLCs, right? Bardock, for example, could be our special guest, for example, and it would just be so cool, guys. It would just be absolutely amazing. But anyway, that's it for today's video, guys, in my kind of like suggestion and idea for this tournament mode, which would work so easily for an online and offline mode as well. Make sure to share this video with Bandai Namco on your social media, guys. We can make this happen if there's enough traction. Of course, maybe it's never gonna happen, but nonetheless, this is a great idea, and I do hope that if it doesn't happen in Kakarot, the developers will at least give it some thought and implement it in a different DLC of a different game. For example, Budokai Tenkaichi 4, right? So guys, that's it for today's video. As always, I shall see you later in the next upload. Bye.